Get it? $140. 70.
How'd that go?
I suggest that you take your time with this, write it out, and stop flapping your lips. Because all I did was pick random numbers, and they may come out gross. Remember, in this house, we write our answers as simplified fractions. Don't go to decimal town. Sometimes you do all the math right, and it comes out gross. Let's see what you got. Nothing wrong with it. It's just a fraction that you type in your calculator. Use that calculator. I just picked random numbers, so it probably isn't pretty. So what was that? 7, 4, 7, 5, 42, 20, 7, 5, 6, 2, 6, 2, 7, 140, 189, 4, 2, 20, 389, 409. Yeah, that's bad. Number is just a number. Use your calculator. I mean, unless you want to go full mojo on it. Anyone still rolling? Finishing up. Okay. Before I start, is there anyone who did this by substitution? We honor your courage and sacrifice. For those who did elimination, I would take maybe this by 7 and this by 4. Could I get rid of the x's instead? Is there anyone who did? Ooh, okay. Like, it just means you're going to multiply with a negative number on one of them, right? That's it. I'm just going with this because I see two numbers that need to have a least common multiple, and one of them is already negative. If I don't have to multiply by a negative, it's one less thing for me to screw up. So if I take this whole thing by a 7, I got 42x minus 28y is 140, 49, 189. If I take the whole thing by 4, I got 20x plus 28y is 220. So we got 409 is 62x. X is 409 over 62. I'm pretty sure that doesn't simplify. Okay, so you got butt ugly. What do I do with butt ugly? Plug it back in. Okay. If x is this, then how about I say 5 by 409 over 62 plus 7y is 55. Okay. Oh no, I'm going to have to subtract. Never mind. I was going to try a little trick, but the trick don't work if you subtracting and not dividing. Call that 2049 over 62 plus 7y. Subtract. Oh, did I say 45? The hell? 5 over 62. There we go. Okay. Now subtract. 7y is. So we got to do 55 and 62, 50, 63, 100, 310, 60, 370, 380? No. That's got to be way bigger. That's 3,000. And then, I don't know. I lost it. Grab a calculator. 55 minus fraction. Because that... Oh, no, 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 no. So that's 3,050. Oh, there we go. 3,100, 3,400, 3,410. That's what it was. Okay. I completely missed the decimal place. And divide by 7 and get y is... Please tell me that's not divisible by 7. No, it's not. Okay. 1365 over 420, 454? Question mark? 434. So, as long as you got a calculator and you're not standing up here like a putz trying to do it in your head, then it's just press buttons, right?
Is that a brownie point successful bus?
I asked the question, does it?
Yeah. 195.
It's what over what?
195 over 62.
Okay. Okay.
Wait, so how would you do it the other way that I ended up doing the way?
You should have the same answer. The difference is you would have to say something like 6x is 4y plus 27, x is 2/3 y plus 9 halves. Plug that in for x, distribute. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Did we multiply or isolate a variable? Did you eliminate or substitute correctly? Did you get your x or y, whatever the first one was? Did you plug it back in or evaluate? Did you get the final answer? So whether you went substitution or elimination, that's the process. Either I multiplied the things correctly, or I isolated my x or isolated my y. Then I plugged it in and got all one variable, or I eliminated and got one variable. I solved for that variable. I plugged it back in, solved for the second variable. 5 pieces to it. Okay. We'll go and change that for next semester. All right. You go down there. I didn't have anyone ask a question last night, other than Do I have to do this one since we didn't get to it? Because I guess one of the regression problems was still on there. Besides that, anything? 32 had fractions. You know what? Instead of me fighting with Frank, how about you just tell me what the problem was then?
And then 250 plus 150x equals 300y. And then we have to graph.
I'm going to do that and rewrite that as 5 plus 3x equals 6. Why?
Oh. I divided by 10.
That's what I'm going to do. Right? Because that's one of our properties of systems is I'm allowed to multiply or divide any equation by a consistent factor. So if I just divide that whole honking thing by 50 or reduce it, I get this. So I get y is 3 over 6 or 1/2 x plus 5/6. And we'll have, what's that, 3 over negative 5, negative 3/5 x. Subtract 4, divide by is plus 4/5. Okay, now let's say, were you supposed to solve by graphing specifically?
They just told us to graph.
Oh, yeah. I'll just graph those two. I mean, they're not going to be pretty because you're starting at a specific spot. Okay, I'm hearing someone's music. That should not be happening. Okay. If 1 is right there, just start at 5/6. And then from there, when I go up 1, 2, or sorry, up 1 over 2, it's just going to be in that same spot. Like the box will look like this. And that's okay. When you use the slope, you're just going to be in that same spot. That's fine. Okay. What else?
Like the 16, like number 16.
Well, we're going through it today because we didn't get to it. Yep. Because Frank. All right. Then let's go to, well, let's back on up to that particular thing. All right, we back up here, clear all that out. I'm at a blank calculator. I have a bunch of data, and I want to make a line from 2 sets of data, meaning 2 different lines. Table shows populations in New York and LA, 1950 to 2000. Assume the linear trends continue. When will they be equal? What will that population be? So you really have 2 sets of x with y here. We said the independent variable, if it involves time, is usually time. In this case, the population depends on what year. So how do I enter my x's when I'm talking about time?
You start at a certain point and then you just.
Okay. Now, conventional wisdom will go anywhere from call 1950 0, and then next to this write x's year since 1950. I think for simplicity's sake, we should probably go with x's years since 1900, because because I'm pretty sure New York and LA existed in 1900. So I can go backwards if I need to. And then my x's are going to be not 1950, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 2000. I would like you to put in list 1, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. New York in list 2, LA in list 3. Stat. Edit. Start typing. You should have lists 1, 2, and 3 filled because Frank sucks. And actually, I take that back. Frank is doing okay. It's the crummy processor in the new calculator in the new laptops. If I didn't have my streaming software going, I was able to use the calculator on here just fine. So this morning I typed in the stuff for this and the next example. Okay, so ignore 4, 5, and 6 right now. Lists 1, 2, and 3 are going to be years, New York, LA. Typey, typey. There's a big difference between I can see it and I can follow what you're doing versus I can do it myself. Practice. Just because you can follow what's going on doesn't mean that you can do it once you're left to your own devices. Okay, typey, typey, typey. And you notice my list 2 and 3, they wrote it in, or the calculator displays it in scientific notation. If I were to go highlight any one of those cells, it will tell me the full number. So the whole value is still there. It's just the column is only so wide. No, I'm saying the calculator will display it in scientific until you go highlight the cell. Okay, it's only so big. The column is only so wide, so the calculator switches it to scientific because it can't fit that whole 8-digit number on there. Okay, so everyone type in time, New York, and LA to your 3 lists. Okay. Supposed to have the fastest thumbs of any generation. All good? Okay. Once I'm there, do you remember how to make a line in your calculator? You know what? Before I even make the line, how do I get my scatter plot of my data? Second, stat plot. Now I'm going to have 2 different sets of data here, but they're both going to share X's as list 1 because it's years with New York, years with LA. So I'm going to turn plot 1 on. Make sure it's a scatter plot. Make sure it's list 1, years, list 2, New York. Then I'm going to turn plot 2 on as well. I'm going to do double. Except this one, I still want list 1 for my years, but I'm going to switch list 2 over to list 3, second 3, because that's going to compare years with LA. Otherwise, it's just going to give you the same scatter plot twice.
I see.
Okay? I go to hit graph. It goes back to the screen that I had last hour, and nothing is showing. I can zoom to my statistics once I have my stat plot on. So zoom, option number 9 is my statistics. And I should see 2 roughly linear scatter plots. Do you see where those 2 trends will eventually meet? Okay. If I make a line here, and if I make a line here, they will eventually cross. What this example is, once I have this, I can make the calculator give me the perfect lines, the lines of best fit. Do you remember how to make a line of best fit? We wrote all this down last chapter, or in chapter 1. Stat calculate a linear regression, and I'm going to have to do this twice. One for the first line, one for the second line. Now, who here's got the 83s? Or is using the emulator on the laptop? Okay. Now the Casios, you got the pop-up menu for your regression. What?
Like, I have all the data, but like, I don't know if you just hit graph one, it only brings up like one. And I don't know how to bring up multiple. And then like I went to this screen.
Okay. Is that Windows Sketch? Graph 1. Where was your regression to make the line?
To make the line? Oh.
Menu.
It was
Okay.
in stats.
So stat.
I don't know how you got there though. There you go. Then what I did is I hit graph, and then I hit 1, calculate, x.
Okay. So that was specifically graph 1. There's got to be a way to
I don't know how to combine them.
calculate.
Yeah, that's also another way you could do is like calculate regression.
Regression.
But I don't know how to combine the 2 graphs together.
I don't either. I don't know either. Okay, you might. I know there's a way. Do you know how? You got more experience with that thing. No? Okay. You might just have to write down what the equations are from the regression, and then just go to y equals and manually type them. That's it. That's it. Okay. List 1, list 2. We never use our frequency list in this class. Store. Do you remember how to say, hey, go put this in y1? Variables, the y's, the function, y1. Okay. Or alpha trace if you're on a 84. When I hit calculate, again, everyone keep your eyeballs up here. Watch it. It's going to go fast. Did anyone see it? It says lin reg L1, L2, Y1. Okay? So if you're on a TI-83, it defaults to using list 1 and list 2, and you've just been shoving that Y1 at the end. I get the first line. First line, Y1, which is New York, about 138186.909. It is?
Yeah, I got 146, and then for B, I got
Mine's different?
553.
Frank?
Yeah, I think on one of your. I don't know. Did get what I mean? Yeah, we got this.
All right, I'll just assume you all have the same thing, okay? Because Frank is a royal POS. This, facts. All right. If I want to put in a second line, stat, calculate, linear regression. Now I want the years with LA. So now I'm going to put my Y list is list 3 because that's where I put the LA data. Time with LA. Getting there. Store, alpha, trace. God, I love that so much better. I'm going to put this in Y2. Don't put it in Y1 again, or else you're just going to overwrite what was there. To do this same thing without a pop-up menu on an 83, it's going to say lin reg. Then you're going to have to say list 1, comma, list 3, comma, Y2. Comma's right above 7.
It says U and O over 7. Oh wait, now I see it. This one is
Okay. The TI-83s will default to using list 1, list 2, not storing. If you want to change your list and store, you just have to keep separating it with commas. So you'd say list 1, list 3, Y2, because I want both of these in there. Okay. Now, that one's right. So that means that I goofed up a value in my list 2, in my New York data, somewhere. Stat, edit. God, this thing's so slow. All right, someone check my list for me.
I think so. 1.71. I think is ours is 1.81. So if you go down 3,
This one?
yeah, we have 1808735.
Okay. 1808, what?
77251.
Stat, calculate. God, this thing's so... We're getting there. Frank sucks. Ooh, we're not going to trace. Better? Okay. Okay. I zoomed in my stats. I got my graph. I really need to get down to our tech guys tomorrow and just have them put OBS on the old computer. This is ridiculous. Okay, we see where it's going to cross, right? Somewhere off in the wild blue yonder. If I try to find my intersection between these two lines, which was the beginning of yesterday, right? Graph the line, graph the line. She wants tacos, I hate tacos, bam. Guadalajara's. Actually, if it's just the meat and cheese and that's it, none of the other crap with it, I'll eat tacos. They're yummy. I can't calculate an intersection that's not on my screen. So I'm going to make my screen a little bit bigger. Go to window and change your window to go out to, what year is this?
This is 2005.
That's 2005. How about we at least go to now? Okay, so I'll go out, you know what, let's go 130 years. Another 9 years, y'all will be out of high school, likely out of college unless you go directly into master's. Actually, most master's programs are only 2 years. Okay, the vast majority of you will be done with your education. So maybe you're deciding which of the big cities you want to go live in. I don't know. Maybe you like being claustrophobic. So it still won't? Uh-oh. Well, unfortunately, I have to wait another 5 hours to figure that out. How about that weather? So close. So I'm just gonna keep going. Then I'm just go for broke here. I'm gonna go out to the year 2100.
250.
Really? We have to go further?
Yeah.
Gross. Fine. Screw you, Frank.
Oh, I'm doing
It's not on 400.
Let's start 500.
4 million?
Yeah, even
That's 100 years.
All right. I went out to the year 2200 and changed it to 4 million.
Oh my god. That's what mine looks like.
Okay, maybe I didn't need to go out that far.
X400 and Y 60 million, then it shows
Why 60?
X400 and Y.
You know what? Screw this. Zoom, please tell me you're actually going to work. Fit. Zoom 0 is zoom fit. It's supposed to zoom to a relevant feature set, like finding where they cross. It doesn't always work because what the calculator thinks is relevant isn't always relevant. Okay? I just hit zoom 0 for zoom fit. All right. The idea is if I have two lines, these two lines cross. Calculate exists in two different places on here. First, if I stat calculate, that'll find stuff from my table. But if I second and right up here above trace is calculate, everything on the top row is stuff with your calculator screen, with the graphs. I'm going to calculate an intersection, and I'm going to ask for, is it on the first line? Yeah, Blinky's on the first line. Hit enter. Is Blinky on the second line? Yeah. It's going to ask me for a guess. What do we say? No. Tell me the answer. You don't have to do the guess. And alakazam. In the year 2036, there will be a equal population between the two of 25.6 million. That's a lot of people. You got to remember that when people say small town, in most other places around our country, around the world, Rapid City is a podunk. Like, itty bitty, let's laugh at the small people podunk. Okay? Spearfish is like a village. Okay? So, we're going to go write down some steps here because I'm done fighting with Frank. You remember all your stuff. Stat, edit, enter data. Stat, edit, enter data. Once all your data is in, second, y equals brings up your stat plot. Plots on for list 1, list 2, list 1, list 3. if you're trying to compare in the same data set like this. Once those are on, we're going to go stat calculate linear regression, and you're going to do it twice. You're going to do it with list 1, list 2, store it, list 1, list 3, store it. This gets you both your lines. Once you have both your lines, zoom to stat or fit whatever is going to get you the window that you can see the intersection. If you have to go to the window itself to change it so you can see the intersection, fine. And finally, second trace brings up my calculate screen on the graphing calculator, and I'm going to go for intersect. It does a lot of cool stuff, but it takes a while to learn it, and it doesn't help when you're trying to learn it from something that's acting like it's running on Windows 95 DOS. Okay? DOS, DOS. Yeah, you all have grown up with like decent operating systems. We used to have to open DOS windows and type in command prompts. Like you damn near had to know how to code just to run the computer. It was rough. The first time that I learned that you could go C:// Duke 3D / enter, and you would pull up Duke Nukem 3D on my uncle's computer. It was great. Okay. It's never good when you're trying to copy down instructions and it sounds like you're choking. No. Cool? Almost? Okay. It is important though because this is our application and we're going to use it again for polynomials and logarithms and radicals, and hopefully I'll have a different computer by then. I want you to see, if you can, start to finish. I would recommend just reset. Reset, start over.
Second, memory 7.
Second plus 7, enter 2. You did exactly what I said never to do.
If you don't use lead, I thought you said you're good. Get rid of the lead.
It doesn't matter.
There's no lead in it. I never done it with lead.
Okay. Here's them. All right, these flipping Casios. Okay. Settle in for the long haul here. What do we got?
So I did that, and I put the equations in, and I got the lines, and they looked like your lines.
Okay.
And I think I got the same equation.
Yeah.
I just don't know how you figured out that it was like 2036.
Oh, remember we said X is years since 1900? 1900 plus 136. 2036.
Oh, okay. So I did the intersection part right?
Yep.
I just clicked on like this.
So where was yours?
I clicked on this like G solve button, and then I clicked inside.
Okay, so you do have an intersect feature, but how did you get both? Oh, did you have to manually type them? God. Okay. There's got to be an easier way than just manually typing them. Like, when they're linear equations like this, not a big deal. When we're going to do quartic models in a while, where it's like big honkin' decimal train x to the 4th plus big honkin' decimal train x to the 3rd plus big honkin', that's going to take a while. We got to find a better way before that. I don't want you to have to deal with that. Okay, so who else? Brooke, Zoe, did you find the intersect feature manually typing it?
I don't know. I did it, but I'm just lost with the window.
Oh,
I
okay.
lost everything I had.
Oh, that's no. We went out to our window was. We went from 0 was 1900. Why aren't you? Enter. Oh. I'm not touching anything. I just tried to arrow down and it wouldn't let me, so I hit enter too many times and now I'm in a different window. You press the button. Go back. How do you go back? There we go. All right, 0. We went out to at least 250, I think. And then we had to change our Y maximum to go out to like 30 million. 30 000 000.
Oh. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, so I figured out your division.
Okay. So what she had to do was manually enter them. Is that what you had to do? You were able to store them?
Yeah.
How? Teach me, Sensei.
So instead,
Mhm.
I graph, but then I had to do calc.
Okay, how did you get both? Because she wasn't able to get both of them on there.
I went to here
Select.
and then there.
Oh, okay. Cassios. Haha. So when you had the stat and the graph, and you were only able to put graph 1 on there, select.
I did that, and then I.
And you were able to turn both ones on, or she was able to.
So everything on.
So turn that one on, that one off, because you don't have anything there. Yeah,
Oh,
it should have both.
like here?
But I don't have both. I tried
Okay,
that.
so yours isn't drawing the second set of stat plots.
Yeah.
Like this one?
If you click select.
Yep. Graph 1 on, graph 2 on.
And then around.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Okay, so, all right, now you show her how you got your second set of stat plots on there. I like this, cooperative learning. The slow calculator?
Like Frank. It's been loading for a while.
It's like Frank Jr. Is it like redheaded stepchild named Daryl?
Yeah.
Okay. That's actually from our game. Redneck Life. Yeah. You played regular life, right? Like you stop your little minivan and you go to college, you get your career. You stop your little minivan, get me. In that one, you stop and get kicked out of school. You stop and get married for the first time. You stop and get divorced. You stop and get married the second time. And the second time you get married, you have to roll dice to see how many redheaded stepchildren named Daryl you get. So you have like 15 Daryls by the end of the game.
Hey.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I still have I put my data in there earlier. Hopefully I did that right. I'm going to go clear these out. Clear. Clear. Plots. Okay. So assuming that I have my data correct, stat, edit, type data in. I typed all of it beforehand, hoping that I did it correctly. Check my list 4, 5, and 6. Do we look okay?
Yep.
Why did I go 5, 6, 7, 8? Okay, it's that month of the year. Now, if you went with 1, 2, 3, 4, that's okay. You would just have to write next to your problem that x equals 1 corresponds to May. You would end up with a different equation, but your model would still hit the same answer.
I see.
Okay? It would literally be a horizontal translation of this graph. Okay, I've got the data. Hopefully, we got that right. I'm going to go to plot 1, turn it on. Except for me, I need to make sure that mine says list 4 with list 5. Yours should still be 1 and 2 since you reset.
See more below.
Plot 2 should be, for me, list 4 and list 6. For you, should be list 1, list 3. Then, if I zoom to my statistics right now, is that about what you had? Okay, so I need, this is all stuff that we've done before. How do I get the lines? Stat. I'm calculating from the table, so I come back here. For me, I'm going to be using list 4 with list 5, storing into Y1. Storing into Y1. Come on, Frank. Help me out here. And is this what you got?
Yeah. Well, I put 1, 2, 3, 4. But
Okay, so yours might be a little bit off,
Yeah.
but then stat, calculate, do it again. Second line, I'm going to switch over to list 4, list 6, putting into Y2. God, this just ancient sack. I couldn't even say it's ancient. It's that thing. It's the new laptops sucking beyond sucking.
You sure?
And I've asked around to all my classes. Everyone's saying the same thing, that these new laptops are significantly slower.
they're dog water.
Yeah. Okay. Yay, nay? All right. So now if I zoom back to those stats, I should have 2 lines placed on there for me. Doop, 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 doop.
Frank's actually faster.
That's weird. The physical calculators are not supposed to be that slow. When we do logistic regression, yes, but not this. Okay. So window right now, explain to me what this means.
What it shows on the x-axis.
So on the x's, what do x's represent in this problem? The different months. So I'm actually going to go 0 to 12, just so I can show the full year. Okay. Y's. What are the Y's in this problem?
Income and expenses.
We're comparing income and expenses, so the Y's are money. Money that I owe, money that I gain. So I'm hoping I don't go to negative town. I'm hoping I don't owe money, but I'm still going to put on there negative 2,000. That's 20,000. Come on, Frank. Up to 5,000. I just want to see a range. What? Did I hit? I didn't hit enough zeros. This is fine. I'll just press the button. All right, I'm just gonna hit zoom fit. Come on, Frank. Help me out here, Frank. Oh, hey, look, it'll actually work this time. I really, really, really despise this slow thing.
Yeah, why's mine on
Okay.
that's still the same.
Moral of the story, between any 2 equations. If I have any 2 equations in slope-intercept form, I can graph them on the same screen. If I can graph them on the same screen, then I can do this. Second, calculate my intersection between the 2. I'm on the first line. I'm on the second line. Screw you, Frank. Tell me the answer. And so what is that? 9 is September, 9th month of the year, and specifically, what does that Y mean?
It's 10.
That's the amount of income and the
That's
amount of
the income and the expense.
Did you read the problem?
It says
Well, in what month is it's when you're September?
In what month will your expenses equal your income? In September, both my expenses and my income, based on this model, will be approximately $10,152.17.
holy smoking.
Which, for a small business, have y'all heard like various statistics that something like most small businesses don't make it past their second year? Okay. There's a reason for that, and it's because it takes a crap ton of money to start a business. Because you have to get loans. You don't, unless you're just sitting on a pile of money, you need to get loans to start renting the space. You need to get loans to buy the inventory. You need loans to start your payroll. All of this money just comes, it doesn't just show up. You have to borrow it. And it usually takes, depending on how successful your business is, a couple of years to pay down those debts to the point that you are actually making money. I'm really proud of my buddy who owns a game store. He made it past 3 years now. So now he's doing all right. Yay, we got a nerd store. I can go buy cardboard crack. It's not actually crack, it's magic cards. Okay. So we did all of the solve by substitution, elimination business. We did not get to the regression stuff because look at how painful that was. Word problems. Do y'all remember that page that had slope-intercept, point slope, and standard form, and how they show up in our word problems? Okay, that was back in section 2.5. Section 2.5, we wrote down all of those fun little bits. They were something like y is rate x plus start, y is, not you, y minus an amount is a rate times x minus time, and rate 1 by x plus rate 2 by y is total. Okay, and I'm looking for these numbers in my problem. Now, really what it boils down to is when you read the problem, did they give you a starting amount? Did they give you when this, then that? Or did they give you a total? Those three questions are what's going to determine how you write the problem. I'll tell you that the majority of our word problems, they prefer to use slope-intercept or standard. The majority of them. So, we did that before. Now, let's do it for real. Owner. Owner is going to charge $20 more per haircut than the assistant. Yesterday, assistant gave 12 haircuts. Owner gave 6. Total earnings was $750. How much does the owner charge for a haircut? You said it right there. Total, right? Total earnings were $750. So something equals $750, right? So, do I see the rates that go with this? How do I know what goes with it? Well, $750 is in money. So the rest of this equation needs to deal with the money. What are the two things we're talking about? The amount of haircuts that, what are the two haircut things? The owner and the assistant. Okay, so maybe I'll write that off to the side. I'm going to say X is owner and Y is the assistant. So if this is about money, this part needs to be about money. I don't know how much the owner charges, but I do know that the owner gave 6 of those haircuts. So that's my rate. 6 of these plus the assistant gave 12 at this price. Owner did 6 at this price. Assistant did 12 at that price. Altogether makes $750. So right there, I can get rid of this. I can get rid of this. I can get rid of this. What else do we have? The owner charges 20 more per haircut than the assistant. What if I said charges 20 more than the assistant?
Plus 20.
The owner is 20 more than the assistant. Owner is 20 more than, add at the end, assistant. So this is set up for what? Substitution or elimination? I would use substitution because it says X is this stuff. So replace X with this stuff. Okay, I'm going to rewrite this so I got a little more room. So 6X plus 12Y is 750. X is Y plus 20. So rewrite 6 by thing plus 12Y is 750. And plug in there Y plus 20. On down the rabbit hole you go. Call it 6Y plus 120 plus 12Y. Combine like terms. Subtract. Divide. So what's that? By 3 is 210 and 6. So it's in 30. 25? 35?
Yeah, 35 is
Okay. Y'all, I was up late. It was bad. You know how you procrastinate and don't do that English research project for the 3 weeks that you're given, and then you finally do it the night before? I did that with the notes for the entirety of Algebra Half's next chapter. I did all of it last night, and
At least it's Algebra.
it... All right, I said Y is 35. Now what? Plug it in, and luckily, it's going to be pretty easy to do. Now, I can't just say X is 55, Y is 35. I haven't answered the question. How much does the owner charge for a haircut? $55. Okay.
Dull hairs.
Isn't there another country that has, it's not dollars, but it's like pronounced dollars? It's like DOLARES?
Oh, pesos. Not pesos.
Oh. Okay, round 2. Again, I'm looking for those informations of, do I have a rate? Do I have a total? Do I have a starting amount? All right. Florist, 3 hours, 15 minutes to make 3 small centerpieces, 3 large. It also took 6 hours, 20 minutes to make 4 small, 7 large. How long does each piece take? Okay. Y'all, whenever you get to the question at the end, that tells you your variables. Like on the last one, it said, how much does the owner make, or does the owner charge? That tells me my variable is the rate charged per haircut. This one asks, how long does it take to make the small and large centerpieces? So right away, when I see the question, I'm going to say x is small, y is large, and this is time required. Okay? I'm going to do that first because the question tells me what am I even looking for. It tells me my variables. Then I go back to the rest of it. Actually, let's just do this right now. If that just determined the question, let's get rid of it and work our way backwards. In there, do I see a starting amount? Do I see a total? Do I see a when this, then that?
Yes. When 3 hours and 15 minutes for 3 small and 3 large.
Okay, I have a total amount of time that it takes me to do these two things. When I hear total, I'm writing standard form. 3 hours, 15 minutes. I can't have a total that's in two different units.
They convert.
Change it all to minutes or change it to hours. If I go to hours, it's 3 1/4. I'm guessing you don't want to write 13/4. So if I go to minutes instead, 3 hours at 60 minutes per hour is 180 plus 15 is 195 minutes. Okay, that's my total. X and Y is the amount of time for small and large pieces. Do I have a rate that goes with small and large pieces? Yeah. I made 3 of those and 3 of those. 3 of the little ones, 3 of the big ones, 195 minutes. Given that as a template, okay, so now I can get rid of all this. Using that as a template, do you see the second equation? Basically the same thing, right? 6 hours and 20 minutes. How long?
6 times 6 is 36.
So 380 minutes. And that's for 4 of the small ones and 7 of the large ones. Off to the races you go. I want to see you finish it off.
This one, oh my.
Arrgh.
All you gotta do is
Finish it off.
divided by
4, 12
plus 21.
times -4 is -12 times 3 is 21 is 9. 9, 3, 9, 11, 40. 44 is 800, 27, 80, 1147, 80, 360, 360, 940. 40 for that is 120. No. 780. 3 is 900. 1140. 780. 360. 12, 9. Yeah, 40.
1140.
So 40, 120, 75. Yep.
Got it.
So I got. That's what I got.
And you wise.
I had to double check it because I subtracted wrong finding my x. I had a 65 instead of a 75 divided by 3. Narf.
Doesn't matter which one. I just did the top one.
Since they came out as clean numbers, I'm assuming that I'm probably close, if not right.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. So the process, is everyone cool with the process to get from there to answer? One of them by what? -4, the other by +3. Stack them, get 360 divided by 9 and something like that. Oh, did anyone eliminate y's instead? Go by 7 and 3? Okay. Same difference, right? Okay, so the question here isn't so much, can I solve it? I think you know how to solve it, and you've proven that. The question is, can you write it? Let's start with 37 and a set of publishers who clearly don't know anything about, right? Yeah, we're not there. Okay. Clearly don't know anything about the actual costs of baseball.
It's pretty cheap.
Really? Because I heard there's a lot of kids who go play for Bell because to play in Spearfish is so expensive. Like have to do some sort of ridiculous fundraiser and pay like $1,500 or something just dumb like that.
Play baseball?
Yes.
Does Spearfish not have like a just high school baseball team?
No, they have a. No, it's all American.
Well, that's why it costs money.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have to pay for their own buses and stuff.
All right. Do the thing. 37 baseball. 37 baseball. Can you write it?
Like $300
Total.
So you do 140.
No, it's not 140. It's 10.
104.
140.
X equals 4 times 5.
You know what? Don't even solve it. Just write it. Can you just write it? You've shown before that you can solve them. Can you turn the words into the equations? That's what I want to know right now. Okay. Can you turn words into math? I see how many bats and gloves as my question. The question tells me the variables. So I'm just going to roll with that. I'm just going to use B and G, right? I don't have to graph it. Don't need to use X and Y. Next says they did this and this, spending a total of. As soon as I hear a total of, womp, 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 that tells me this is going to be standard form again, equals 1040. It's going to be 20 per bat, 12 per glove. I don't know where you're going to find a baseball glove for $12 besides Goodwill. Like, what's a new one even run now? Like 50, 60 bucks?
Oh no, like 100.
Oh,
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
Why?
The bats are probably.
Ew.
That's Among Us.
All right, well, Okay. So I got this, and then it says the next year prices went up. Okay, apparently in 1972. Now we're going to say bat, glove, total. Same thing. 25B plus 16G is 1350. Okay, I know that y'all aren't fans of big numbers or fractions.
Factual statements right there.
Would you, I'm guessing most of us would either take, what, top 1 by 4, bottom 1 by 3 to knock out my y's, or my g's? Or top 1 by 5, bottom 1 by 4 to knock out my b's? Would anyone look at this and think 5b plus 3g is 260?
Not, but
If you ever see compatible numbers that have a common factor like that, you can bring it down. Now I can just take that equation by a -5, right? Nice and small. So just, if I took that by -5, I would end up directly with y equals number too, because I'd have -15 here. So you don't have to use big numbers. If you ever see a way to alter the equation to make it easier, as long as you're following math law and doing it to everything in the equation, you're good. All right. This is like one of the most stereotypical problems in math. Can you write this one?
which one?
5? Or is it 15?
Number 5.
5? Can you write out number 5? And once you see it, it's super, super simple. But can you write it without seeing the trick first? Pay attention to the question. The question determines your variables. Okay, I'm hearing people latch on to the word rate. The rate that it travels. What do we normally have the rate that our vehicles travel?
Oh.
Miles per hour? Okay, light bulbs are going on.
That's crazy.
I remember that from Remember the Titans. Yeah? You ever seen Remember the Titans? Denzel Washington. Great movie. Denzel Washington, hands down, favorite actor. Why you fumbling my ball, Petey? How many feet in a mile? What? How many feet in a mile? 5,280. You're going to pick up this ball and you're going to run every one of them. I love that quote. It's gorgeous. But yep, 5,280.
So it's 6. It's 6. No, it's 8. What's the difference?
Okay, we're headed in the right direction here. Y'all, it asks for the rate of the current and rate of the boat. So current is the speed or rate of the current. The boat is the speed of the boat. I'm hearing some really good problem solving here. If you are going with the current, are you faster or slower? If you are going against the current, How do I write this?
I don't.
Plus and minus. It's that easy. Either I have the water plus the boat, or I should say boat plus water. Boat plus the current because I'm going with the current, or the boat minus the current because it's working against me. If the boat is going with the current, I am going 8 miles an hour. If I'm going against the current, I'm going 4 miles an hour. Once you see it, if I were to say, throw another problem at you with airplane has a tailwind versus going into the wind, would you be cool now just doing like plane plus wind, plane minus wind? Okay. Once you see it, this is why it's a very classic example of word problems. Because it is so simple once you write it out. All right. We got 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Nah, I'm gonna stop there. What'll likely happen? Okay, y'all remember tomorrow? That's been 5 days. So tomorrow, review quiz. On Thursday, we'll finish off this and move into 3-5. I am going to be skipping 3-4. Hi.
She was going last class.
Why didn't you ask at the beginning of class?
I don't know. I just wrote the stuff on my notebook.
Oh, well, it works too, as long as you got everything.
Well, it doesn't make any sense without the notes, so I need the notes.
3.
I'm a little special, okay?
Don't. Do not.
When I want to see them.
Well, someone stole my stack because I had 24 copies of notes for 20 students, and there are now no notes.